Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. Today we're going to be discussing kind of how the seasons are changing. We're moving into this colder time when business can slow down, things get kind of put to the wayside, you pause, figuring out what you're going to do for next year. And we're joined today by two lovely experts. But before that, just some housekeeping items. At any time throughout this presentation, there is the Q&A section, so feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation. We'll address those towards the end. The presentation is also being recorded live, so that'll be available to each of you about an hour, 2 hours afterwards once it goes through its renderings. And then there will be a short survey at the end that we'd appreciate you guys letting us know how we did. Otherwise, I will pass it over to you, Tracy, and we can kick this thing off.
All right, thank you so much, Billy. All righty, guys. So we'll take a quick look at today's agenda so you know what we're going to be talking about, and then I'll introduce our guest speaker today. So kind of breaking it down into some sections here for you. We're going to talk about the shift in seasons. It's that time of year when the seasons start to shift. Then we'll jump into the impacts of the shoulder season. And as with anything else in the world these days, we got to talk about what that means traditionally, and then what that means in terms or in the context of COVID. We'll talk about some challenges and obstacles to overcome during that season shift. And then we'll talk to you a little bit about how Aeroseal fits into that mix. And we'll leave plenty of time for Q&A. So feel free to send your questions in throughout our conversation today, and then when we get to the end of the presentation, we'll open it up for general Q&A. Very good. So let's jump over here so I can introduce to you the man of the hour, Mr. Lenny Siers. Lenny, would you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lenny Siers. I'm from Niceville, Florida, in the Panhandle of Florida, and we've been an Aeroseal dealer for many years now. And it's changed the way we do business. When we started, we focused mainly on service and installs. And then once we implemented the Aeroseal product, we focused on duct work, duct systems, cleaning seals, along with servicing and maintaining the HVAC equipment. And it's taken us from a run rate of about 12 million to 25 million over the last 6 years. So it's helped us a lot.
Yes, indeed. That's exciting. So as you guys can tell, that's why we have Lenny joining us today. He lives and breathes this success story. So my name's Tracy Martin. I am the Director of Dealer Development here at Aeroseal. I've been here almost 6 years, and I've had the pleasure of working very closely with Lenny, and really excited to see where Lenny goes in the next 6 years. So let's dive in. So for most of you, maybe not everybody, I know down in Florida it's always a perfect temperature outside, but for most of you, it's starting to get cold outside, and we're right at that cusp where the seasons start to change. Temperatures start becoming a little bit more mild, they're more manageable. So a lot of homeowners are just not running their system as much as they are during peak summertime, right? So this can mean a reduction in the number of no heat and no cool calls. It's mild, a lot of us have our windows open, so we're not complaining. Also, it's the end of the year, and as we creep up on the end of the year, it's always the time to start looking ahead to 2021. So a lot of companies, a lot of business owners are looking for ways to save money, possible budget cuts, looking at tax implications for the end of the year, and then they're scrutinizing and really taking a hard look at the types of investments that they're planning on making for the upcoming year and even beyond. So it's really that time when we kind of reset, take a look at behind us, in front of us, and figure out what do we have to do, what kind of changes do we need to make. So traditionally speaking, when we hit the shoulder season or the mild temperatures, there are some obstacles that we run into as an industry. So number one, staying busy. It becomes tough to stay busy when the temperatures become mild like they are. Less system runtime from a homeowner means lower concern from the homeowner. and then that can result in fewer phone calls for you. So as a result of that, fewer phone calls, less revenue coming in, it can create another unwanted challenge for companies in our industry, which is you can start to run the risk of losing skilled labor. And you know, I hear it from all of our dealers across the country. This is something that is a constant struggle in our industry, finding and keeping good employees. Some have mastered how to do this, but I think overall it's one of those things that we do struggle with on kind of an ongoing basis. When you start to see a reduction in your labor, or if you lose good employees, that can create some bottlenecks for you. That can create a constraint on you earning that additional revenue, right? So it can limit the number of jobs that you're able to perform because you have fewer technicians. So in that case, if the phones do start ringing, well, now you have a bigger problem because you don't have capacity. You don't have enough people. So it can create a real recipe for disaster. And I'm gonna pause here and see if Lenny, I know you've been dealing with this kind of stuff for many years, so I'll ask you if there's anything you'd like to add here.
You know, you're spot on, Tracy. I think everybody on this call, if they're a contractor in the heating and air business, their number one challenge is capacity. You don't have enough people in the busy season in both winter and summer, and you're a little bit overmanned in the off season, which is the fall and spring. Aeroseal with duct cleaning and duct replacement gives you an opportunity to fill that void with revenue generating install work for your installers, sales work for your sales team, compensation for your overhead. And it's one of the few things we can find and identify that helps us maintain, going on 25 years of contracting, a successful growing operation. And everything you said right so far is what we're all seeking, is the answer to that challenge, capacity.
Yep. You know, and then you throw COVID into the mix and it creates even more factors to consider, right? And really though, it's not that it makes it too different. It's kind of the same problems we've always been facing, but now in a way they're more magnified, right? So over many of the past months, we've seen a lot of businesses struggling to keep their doors open. We've seen other companies who are staying pretty busy and they're doing okay, but globally speaking, I've heard some tough stories about just trying to keep their head above water during these crazy times. So it's required business owners to get creative, find a creative way to overcome this mess that we're in, and look for innovative approaches to doing business. And I've seen some really cool stories and adjustments that business owners have made, and I think it's really exciting to see. But COVID also creates concern from a household perspective, right? So employees have to worry about their families, and they have to worry about their finances, and COVID creates some insecurities and some added stress for a lot of employees, right? So when you have to worry about job security issues, that can make you know, the labor issues even more challenging. So you go back to the other concern just that's impacted the business as a whole. There are many homeowners who are still today just not comfortable and a little skeptical inviting someone into their home. And in the HVAC business, it sure is tough to do the work if you can't get inside the home, right? So that creates a challenge because it can limit our opportunities. Also, when you get in that home, you got to get it right the first time, because coming back might not be an option. The homeowner is going to be a little bit more reluctant to just have that open door for you. So there's also this big looming black cloud or big concern that as we move into these colder temperatures and flu season, that COVID could have another great big spike, and we are seeing that in some cases. So a lot of people are just really on edge right now, right? So with all that together, that does create the opportunity for health concerns to take a lead over comfort concerns. So historically speaking, comfort has been the front runner, hands down. Our phones ring, we stay busy because people don't like being uncomfortable. Second to that is air quality issues, health concerns. We are wondering, and we're thinking it could happen, health concerns could overtake the comfort concerns. Let me stop here and ask Lenny, what are your thoughts on this?
I've taken some notes, hopefully everybody on this call has, and today the top line awareness of IQ is 10x, 10 times what it was in the past. So people are concerned, they're spending more time in the home, they're really concerned about the health of their family members, and we have great IQ products to offer along with clean and seals and ductwork enhancements. But also you mentioned something, our products solve issues and concerns. So Aeroseal solves some issues and concerns of things like high humidity, challenges in temperature control, dirt and dust in the home, but also a big factor is peace of mind, knowing they're doing the best to make their home the best environment they can. So all this is great stuff. At the same time, I think we have a great chance to get ahead of the curve by offering our products and services professionally, and also show them what the results are if they get engaged with our products.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we're actually going to dive into that here in a couple slides. So thanks for kind of giving everybody a little preview there. We'll talk a little bit on that. So, you know, looking back at keeping skilled labor, if you want to retain skilled labor, skilled employees, you got to be mindful of what they're looking for. And what they're looking for fair wages. Job security is huge. They want that peace of mind that they've got a job for the long haul, right? And as business owners, we're looking for the same thing, right? We want to make sure that when we hire somebody, they want to stick around with us. So it goes two ways. A lot of technicians, they're looking for career growth. They want to know that there's a path for them to earn more and climb that ladder, right? I think it's also rewarding. Technicians like having access to innovation, the cool new gadgets in the industry, right? They want to have access to that. And then for many, having meaning or purpose to the work that they're doing every day is very important, especially we're seeing with younger folks. Having that meaning and purpose is really critical as they seek employment and they look for a company to make their home. But all of this, it starts with overcoming seasonality. And that's kind of the step one in keeping, retaining skilled labor. Once you have them, you want to keep them. You got to overcome that seasonality. Lenny, you've done tons of hiring over the years. Anything you would add as far as a bullet point in what you think people are looking for?
Well, I think being an Aeroseal dealer gives us a bonus that we're different than most of our competitors. So it actually locks in some prospects that are looking to join our team to check off, hey, they're innovative, and hey, they got additional products and services. So I think it helps recruiting and retention a lot.
Yeah, very good. All right, so on the topic of overcoming the shoulder season, it's really all about how you do business. And when you look at the HVAC industry, there's a lot of companies out there, right? So it's really important that you become the HVAC diagnostic expert. Don't just settle on system changeouts. The floodgates can open and you can stay busy, but then when things slow down, now what, right? So that's not a good plan. But being yourself as an expert and being that diagnostic master, that's one step in overcoming the shoulder season. And so looking at it in a different, and I think you actually heard Lenny say it a few slides ago, they're presenting solutions to problems. They're not just showing a list of products and services that they have. They're presenting true solutions that can make a difference for the homeowner and solve that problem that they're dealing with. So if you want to become that HVAC diagnostic expert, it means you got to train. You got to train your people. You got to help increase their level of knowledge with respect to building science or treating the home as a total system. It's not just the box, it's not just the equipment. That equipment is attached to all kinds of things in the home, and it can impact all kinds of other elements inside the living space. So empowering your employees with that additional knowledge is key. And then encouraging your technicians to become lead generators. We work with so many companies across the country who have technicians who they just fix and repair. That's their job. Go out there, fix and repair. But gosh, what a huge opportunity while you're there fixing and repairing and diagnosing to identify other lead opportunities. We recognize and acknowledge that maybe technicians in general, all of them, maybe they don't want to sell. That's okay. You don't have to. But if you can identify those opportunities and bring it back to the office, so the sales team can capitalize on those opportunities, that's awesome, right? So encouraging your technicians to become lead generators is really a best practice. And then looking beyond that initial complaint, you know, the thing that brings you in the door is where you start, but it might not be where you end. There might be much more to the story that the homeowner reveals as you're diagnosing and talking and analyzing what's going on in the home. Sometimes it's going to require that as a company you invest in testing or diagnostic tools, and you engage, bring the homeowner into the process and allow them to kind of explore with you and see it and discover it with their own eyes, right? So FLIR One Pro cameras, they're inexpensive and they reveal so much, and homeowners go nuts over these things. When you can show them, we always joke around and we call it Superman vision, right? Because you can see behind the walls and underneath the floors, and homeowners love looking at their home in a whole new way with infrared. And that's just one example. But bottom line, there's no shortage of competition in our industry. You look to your left, you look to your right, there's all kinds of other HVAC companies all around you. So in order to differentiate yourself, you gotta become the HVAC expert. So Lenny, I know for sure there's a lot you could add on this slide, so please go ahead.
I mean, you're covering everything I would cover. Using the tools like the FLIR camera makes a world of difference. Flow hood, temperature gauge, just evaluating the whole system, going above and beyond, showing, telling, explaining to the customer what you're doing, and of course using some of the products and services that Aeroseal's created, like the video that shows what the Aeroseal process is, all the way up to the stick-figured homeowner in the home and what Aeroseal does for them, the video links we use in the field. So using an audio-visual aid along with some of the digital aids that are available in today's technology-based tool bag. They're also affordable. What used to cost me $5,000 now costs $300. So yes, it's right at your fingertips.
That's right. That's right. And it all begins, of course, with adding comprehensive solutions for your homeowners, for your customers. So homeowners love options. They like having different price points to consider. They like being presented with alternatives. And sorry, I read that wrong. When you're able to present them with alternatives that nobody else has acknowledged, that sets you apart. You know, well, the other guy didn't talk to me about blank, whatever blank is, right? So now you're the guy talking about something that hasn't been acknowledged by the competition. Now the homeowner is appreciative, they're engaged. Thank you for telling me that. It positions you as the expert. You're the expert, you're there to help. You're not just the sales guy. It also helps build a stronger sense of trust with your homeowners. You know, homeowners are calling, they expect to spend money. They know they're gonna have to spend some money to fix the problem. They don't want to be taken advantage of. They want to be educated, given the options. They want to understand, and they want to feel like they can trust the person that they're talking to. I always say it's a lot like when you go to the doctor. And we kind of joke about this a little bit, but we know homeowners today are doing all kinds of research online before you visit them. They think they know as much as you do for a second, just like when we go to the doctor. Just because we hopped on WebMD, it doesn't quite make us a doctor, but we've done some self-diagnosis, just like many of your customers do with HVAC. But what they want to happen next is, here's what I've researched. Now, you're the expert. Did I do it right? Is this right? Can you tell me more? Can you help me fix this problem? They're looking for some validation, and then they're looking for you to be the expert to bring it on home, so to speak. And presenting more options to a homeowner, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's automatically going to be more cost. You know the homeowner already has a concern, and you know that they contacted you for some reason. Hopefully it's because they trust you. Maybe they've done business with you before. You're already in the home, so it's up to you to make the most of that opportunity. And presenting more options means you might be presenting them with an option that they hadn't considered, they weren't aware of, and it might be the better way to fix whatever the problem is. So that's a whole lot of information right there. Let's kind of jump over here. So putting the homeowner first is also a no-brainer, and you guys have heard this many times, but you got to treat every home as if it were your own home. Or I say like my grandma's home, because she had some strict rules, right? I probably kept my shoes cleaner and minded my P's and Q's better at grandma's house than I do my own house. But put yourself in their shoes. Would you settle for just one option as a solution? Probably not. You want to have multiple options. Would you be deterred by traditional high pressure sales methods? Yeah, you probably would. And then would you fix an issue without addressing other potential issues in the home? You wouldn't. So do the same thing when you're talking to your homeowner. Consider all of those factors. And then the bottom here, this bottom section, this is so big. Talk to homeowners like they're your student. They want to learn. They want to know. They want to understand what it is you're talking about. Sometimes we tend to make our visits a science project, or we acronym alphabet soup them. But try not to. Try to remember that they're trying to learn. You're the expert. You're the one with all the knowledge, but they're trying to follow what you're presenting to them. So you got to explain it. You got to educate it. You got to do it in a way that's homeowner friendly, which means you might have to slow down a little bit, ask them questions, give them an opportunity to ask you questions, and really listen. You know, we call it active listening. Lenny, anything you want to add here about maybe the way you've designed your own sales process with your team?
No, I mean, what you're covering is what we have conversations with one-on-one with our techs, is be a great listener, be an empathetic listener. At the same time, because we're so knowledgeable about our products and services, sometimes we over talk to the consumer, the homeowner, our products and services. So we have to simplify it the best way possible. And again, we can't emphasize the listening skills. We can show the product, but then let them ask questions and then answer those questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is the little things that matter. You know, the traditional approach, homeowner calls in for routine maintenance, you schedule that appointment, technician shows up, does the work, homeowner's happy, you collect your fee and you keep it moving. The more comprehensive approach is, you know, it's listed there on the right. And I'm not going to read every single step, but it's a more meaningful, intentional, complete, comprehensive way of dealing with your customers. And in the end, if you look at that final bullet point, the benefit to you is that the benefit to the homeowner is increased satisfaction, because you're solving more problems, or you're solving problems the right way, which can lead to increased ticket sales. Lenny, anything here you want to add?
No, I mean, that's what drives our companies, is to make a profit, to stay in business, but also to make a profit to actually excel and move into other parts of what we do. And with that said and done, our employees need to cover their cost of living. And this tool helps take a good wage to a great wage, including IEQ, clean and seals, ductwork enhancements. And without Aeroseal, I feel we kind of left that aside and just said, let's focus on the boxes, let's focus on the equipment only. And if you think about it, the duct system is one of the two major systems in the house. You got the HVAC equipment, and then you got the duct system, and they are different, even though they're tied together. So I think it opened our eyes up to future revenue and future problem-solving techniques, because we're focused on airflow. And again, Aeroseal has really opened our eyes how important airflow is.
Yep, those are really good points. And we mentioned this earlier, and I think we're gonna kind of address it again here in a few, but offering what your competition doesn't is another way to really help even out your business and set you apart, differentiate yourself. So in addition to adding that comprehensive approach, we said it already, but you want to make sure that your technicians have access to high caliber training. If you're going to kick it up a notch, you got to make sure that you're giving your technicians a way to help kick it up a notch by getting the knowledge and the training that they need. So there's all kinds of certifications out there, all kinds of continuing CEUs available, and those can really help keep your skilled labor motivated. Certifications are a big differentiator for homeowners when they're looking around for a company. Sometimes it's really important that they see that you are NATE, you are BPI, you are, you've got all those patches down your sleeve. And Lenny, I've seen your uniform, so I know that I know you guys take certifications very seriously. And I would imagine that it has a big positive impact on your overall culture. How do your technicians at large, how do they respond to getting those training opportunities?
Yes, I mean, just this Friday, Saturday, we went through some NATE certification. In this morning's meeting, we had everybody raise their hand that was not NATE certified. So it's a conversation we're having on a regular basis. But then also, we've had the privilege of having Ken Summers come to our shop over the years before COVID and train our techs in a classroom atmosphere to understand what we're doing with Aeroseal product along with airflow. And I think it's really educated our techs to become more professional and knowledgeable about the products and services we're offering. So again, it's just really bringing them to the next level. And it shows. And a professional uniform company, which I'm sure everybody on this call today is, makes a difference between let's just say, a handyman coming in. We definitely dress professional to show the homeowner we're serious about what we do, and don't take it for granted. Not every company is like that.
Yep. Back to COVID. It's really shifted our landscape here. Before COVID, there were all kinds of sources and statistics out there that showed that homeowners spend 90% of their time indoors. Now that we're in this situation, it's nearly 100% of time indoors, right? So when you're stuck inside, you really place a high value on your comfort. More times indoors means it, and we've heard this from so many homeowners. I have the privilege of being able to talk to hundreds of homeowners on a monthly basis who are interested in our services. And the number one thing I keep hearing is, now that they're stuck working from home, they notice that home office is that one bedroom in the house, and man, it's uncomfortable. They hadn't noticed it before because they just hadn't spent as much time in that little nook and cranny of their home. So the more time you spend inside, the more things you discover about your home that you may not have realized before. Also, gosh, you can't turn on the TV without getting some kind of media coverage about the importance of air quality, the importance of proper ventilation. Consumers are highly tuned into this right now, and because of that, then as a result, consumers are much more concerned about their health, and we've already talked about this. but homeowners are really starting to think and question and take precautions and willing to spend money to make the air around them that they're breathing as healthy as it possibly can be. So this does create some unique opportunities for us in our industry, and it takes you beyond just system installs, because system installs alone, you already know it, you got to do something more than just system installs. I know you guys have heard this a million times too, but the first thing that your average homeowner thinks of when they hear HVAC is heating and air conditioning. But there's a V in there, and that's ventilation. And you heard Lenny just talk about it. The HVAC system and the duct system go hand in hand. While they are different systems, they are codependent in a way, right? So we can't forget about ventilation, and ventilation does lead to a lot of opportunities for us in our industry. So kind of building on that a little bit, the HVAC system is only as efficient as the environment that it's placed in. And there are a lot of factors that come into play when you're looking at the effectiveness of that system. So proper duct sizing or proper equipment sizing, making sure that the ductwork that you attach the system to, is it as healthy as it should be, could be? Is it going to perform the way that the HVAC equipment needs it to? And then don't forget about the thermal envelope. Once you create all this conditioned air and it's just the right temperature, you don't want it to start leaking out through walls and windows and doors. So there's a lot to consider to make sure that the indoor environment for a homeowner is as optimal as it can be, should be, as they want it to be. There's opportunities all over the place. All these things together, they need to be working together. You skip one of these things and it can lead to unwanted results for the homeowner. So that they all kind of work together. Proper ventilation, yeah, it's critical. It's what brings heating and air to life. Without the duct system, the conditioned air really doesn't have a way to travel to all the rooms in the home. So proper ventilation provides circulation for air. It creates a more balanced home, a healthier home, more efficient home, and the system works the way it's supposed to. And you know, sometimes people look at duct leakage and assume or kind of dismiss it as it's a small thing. It's not really a big deal. But don't think that. It might seem small, but it can lead to some really big issues. So duct leakage can cause your HVAC equipment to work harder than it needs to, or was otherwise designed to work. It can put an additional burden on the equipment. It has to work harder to overcompensate for that leakage. And when the equipment has to work harder, it might not live as long. You can greatly impact the life expectancy or the lifespan of that equipment when you're putting an additional burden on it every time it cycles. And duct leakage, it can add up real quickly. I know, Lenny, I know you've heard this one many times because this is something Ken teaches in almost all of his training. But I want you guys to think about something. Just 100 CFM of leakage, which a lot of guys would look at that and say, that's not that much. So let's just take just a little bit. 100 CFM of duct leakage can create an additional 10 gallons of moisture in that duct system in most markets within a 24-hour cycle. 10 additional gallons of water, moisture in that duct system. That's bananas. Lenny, I'm going to pause here because I've been talking for a little while. I'm sure you have something to add here on some of the information I've been covering.
I mean, to sum up what you're saying, you're keeping the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. If you're in a winter market, you're keeping that dry air, cold air out. If you're in a summer market, a hot market like we are, you're keeping the wet air out. And then, of course, dust, dirt, and other contaminants. So it helps also get the most energy efficiency out of your system by keeping all the good air in, the dry air, the conditioned air. So it's energy efficient, and you mentioned it prolongs the life of the equipment. No one wants to change out a system at 6, 8, 9 years old when it's still under warranty, but most of the time when we find it fails is because it's contaminated with dirt, dust, and other things like that. So you're prolonging the equipment of the life of the equipment, so that helps the consumers save money too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth pointing out the obvious, but when Lenny talks about that dirt that's in there, it oftentimes it can be because of infiltration on the duct system. So you've got leakage on the duct system, and it's pulling in that dusty, contaminated, dirty air, right? And it's putting that additional burden on the overall components. If we look at the math here at the bottom of the screen, you take an average, say a 3-ton system, and you apply ACA standards. It's allowed to have 6% duct leakage. So a 3-ton system is producing 1,200 CFM with 6% leakage. That means it's allowed to have 72 CFM of leakage. 72 CFM of leakage is the equivalent of a 13 square inch hole. But when we factor in the mechanical pressure of the equipment, just a 1 square inch hole or 1 square inch of duct leakage is equal to a 30 square inch hole in the structure. So there's a perfect example of how something very little starts to add up and become a big issue. And I'm not the expert on this, so Lenny, I explained that from a very high level. Is there anything that you think the audience needs to hear to run through that math there?
No, just make sure your field techs embrace that thought that a hole so big in the duct system is equal to about a door being open or a window. If it's a small, like you said, a 13 square inch, man, that could equal all those windows being open. And we know if you opened all those windows, you would not be able to condition the space, whether it's winter or summer. So sometimes techs don't fully understand an under pressure system, but once they embrace that, that makes any leakage a challenge.
Thank you. And look at that. It's like I almost knew you were going to talk about the windows. I really didn't know you were going to talk about the windows. But thank you. We've got that animation. Another way to look at this, guys, this information you see on the screen is a SEER AFUE D grade chart. And when we talk about ensuring that the duct system is healthy and it's sealed properly and it's positioned to do its job along with the HVAC equipment, the other thing in homeowner terms is having properly sealed ductwork helps the homeowner get what they paid for. So we take a look at an example here. Let me kind of set this up a little bit first. Most ducts, we know most ductwork leaks between 25 and 40%. That's pretty common, pretty average. So if you think about that, 30% leakage is pretty middle of the road. So if we look at this graph here, this table, you look at a typical 16 SEER system. If you attach that 16 SEER system to leaky ductwork, and that ductwork is 30% leaky, that 16 SEER system is now delivering the efficiency that would be equivalent to an 8.6 SEER system. So think about that for a second. The homeowner just spent thousands of dollars on a brand new system, and in a way, they're getting half or just a little bit more than half of what they paid for because the ductwork is leaky. So the importance of having properly sealed ductwork is huge. And these data points that you see on the screen here, these came from a study conducted by the Department of Energy along with the Comfort Institute actually it was conducted in Florida. So these are real numbers, and the story is really powerful, I think. Lenny, anything you want to add here?
Absolutely. So doing almost 2,000 seals, and I can't wait till we hit the 2,000 mark and let us know. We're going to celebrate it. we're seeing the average home is leaking in Florida around 10 to 20%. And that's with a system that was installed properly. We're hearing up north it's more 20 to 30% based on sheet metal. We're ductboard and flex here. So with that said and done, somewhere every home falls in this category, which is red. So every home's an opportunity. And the other thing is this chart came out a couple years ago for all the Aeroseal dealers, and we all said, wow, that makes a difference in selling the product, knowing that they're going to get a 8-SEER for a 16-SEER price. But the other side of that is they're uncomfortable with that 16-SEER unit that they just paid $8,000 to $12,000 for. Now they're uncomfortable and they have higher utility bills than expected, and then they're mad at their contractor. So you don't want to be that contractor that installs a premium system and turn around, they're very uncomfortable with it.
Thank you so much for saying that, Lenny. You're right. That's exactly the point. The homeowner's not happy, they're not satisfied, and it could be for a number of reasons. And they just spent all that money with you. So that's huge. You're right. So leading right into, duct sealing does help improve customer satisfaction. There's really nothing else like Aeroseal or duct sealing services. There's really no other service that can deliver as many benefits as duct sealing can in one single punch. It delivers comfort. It helps control humidity better in a home. It helps increase air quality or improve air quality. It helps ensure energy efficiency in the home. It helps ensure that the system is performing optimally, and it helps protect the longevity, the life of the equipment. And then, as Lenny just pointed out, it can help reduce callbacks. Nobody likes callbacks. Nobody's making money on callbacks. So duct sealing is part of a comprehensive approach. It's part of treating a home like a total system. So delivering that comprehensive approach, it helps address these underlying issues. It helps you deliver better results to your homeowners. And like Lenny just pointed out, not addressing it can lead to unsatisfied homeowners. And then sometimes what happens is the homeowner doesn't know what else to do. So they buy Band-Aid solutions, things like booster fans, space heaters, window units, you name it, because they just don't know how else to fix it. And that's not good. So again, this is all opportunity for you to dig in, approach it in a more comprehensive way, and make your customers even happier. Duct sealing is an opportunity. So for homeowners, it adds confidence, satisfaction. The HVAC system operates the way it was designed to operate. The home's more comfortable. The home's got healthier air. For contractors, it's added revenue, growth, and workload for you. You guys are already in how many homes every day, every week, every month? While you're in there, take an opportunity to educate the homeowner on solutions like duct sealing that maybe they hadn't considered in the past, or no one had pointed out to them in the past. Adding on these additional services like duct sealing, it can create a higher ticket value potential for your company, can create additional revenue stream. And this is important, that additional revenue stream is not weather dependent. Duct sealing is important whether it's cold or hot outside, and you can deliver duct sealing services whether it's hot or cold outside. So you can do this any time of the year. So it's a great way to keep your staff, your employees, your skilled labor that you're trying to retain, great way to keep them busy. And then it's a real differentiator. Not every HVAC company is addressing the total system. Not every HVAC company is talking about duct sealing. So when you do, it kind of sets you apart from the competition and helps you stand out as an expert. So real quick, I know we're getting close to time here. I want to make sure we have enough time for Q&A at the end. Just a quick high level, what is Aeroseal? Aeroseal is the leading way to seal ductwork in homes and commercial buildings, and it's being done all over the globe. We're doing work in 27 countries and all over the globe every day. That's exciting. And real high level overview of the process is that the crew, we usually run a 2-man crew. Crew shows up day of the job, they block all the registers in the home. They isolate the HVAC equipment and protect it. You're going to protect all the furnishings, all the valuables inside the home. And we also train all of our certified technicians across the network to use a scrubber fan, which is basically just like a giant filter with a fan that pulls air into it in case there's any sealant that escapes through the duct into the living space. So we set up those scrubber fans to make sure that we pull that back into the filters. What's really cool about the Aeroseal technology is it is precise. It is controlled by a computer all throughout the process. And so before you begin sealing, the first thing we teach our guys to do is conduct a pre-seal test. That pre-seal test is going to tell you and the homeowner exactly how leaky that duct system is. So now there's no guessing. You know exactly how leaky it is. The computer controls the process and monitors minute by minute. And then you can see if you started this leaky, minute by minute, that graph starts to slowly go down. When you're all done, you conduct a final test called a post-seal. So you can capture your before and your after number. And when you're all done, you're able to present your customer with a certificate of completion that captures their unique and specific results related to their duct system. So again, super high level. There's a little bit more to it than that, but for the sake of time, I will keep it real high level. And here's just an example of a before and after. You can see the pictures there. As I said, Aeroseal is precise. It takes an unpredictable manual task, turns it into something that is consistent, dependable. It takes all the guesswork out of it. So with mastic or hand sealing tape, you can only seal what you can reach. Aeroseal doesn't have that limitation. It can reach all leakage. It's automated. It's precise. It seals up to 5/8 of an inch holes in the duct. It does, as I said, it provides real-time tracking throughout the process, so you can see exactly what's happening. They're guaranteed results. All Aeroseal work comes with a 10-year warranty. And as soon as you're done with an Aeroseal job, you can turn the system on immediately afterwards. There's no wait time. So that makes it convenient as well. And then I mentioned the certificate of completion. Here's an example of what one looks like. So you can see, minute by minute, it's plotting out the progress. You've got the actual numbers that you can present to the homeowner, and they can keep that and refer to it so they know how awesome their new ductwork is. Okay, I did it. I made it right to 10 minutes so we could do Q&A. So I will open it up here. We'll see if we have any questions. And while we're waiting for questions to come in, Lenny, I covered a whole bunch of slides there very quickly. Anything you wanna add in while we're waiting for Q&A?
No, I mean, once we get questions, I'll be glad to plug in some stuff like insulation blowing is critical. Also, we're running 5 machines and 5 trailers with duct cleaning machines in each one of the trailers. But we have standalone trailers for our insulation blowing machine. And our purpose is to give them the biggest value of the products and services we're offering. So not just cleaning and sealing their ductwork or enhancing it, but then also improving the envelope with insulation blowing. Now, a lot of contractors sub that out in areas that subbing it out works for them, and that's fine too, but we do it in-house. So we want to be that one-stop shop where we can clean their duct, seal their duct, and blow insulation in along with service their HVAC equipment. So I'm interested in some of the questions if we can get some.
Yep, it's looking slow going so far. I did see a raised hand from, hold on here, I think it was a Ruben. I see that you've had your hand up. Feel free send your question in through the question box, and Lenny or myself, we're happy to answer whatever your question is. In the meantime, Lenny, you mentioned it a couple times. I think maybe it's worth noting. I know you bundle your duct cleaning and duct sealing together. What other bundles have you created with duct sealing? Any others?
Oh, yeah, we offer discounts on our IQ products. As long as they do a clean and seal, there's an additional discount for them. And then, of course, we have club members and veteran discounts. So today, remember, this Wednesday is Veterans Day. So celebrate that. And then I also want to share with the people on this call that the Aeroseal alone is about a 4-hour process to get to the house, do the job, and leave. But a clean and seal is approximately a 5-hour process on the average home. So on a long day, you can do 2 a day per team, but the average is going to be a half-day job so they can go on and do other projects. It is going to vary based on basements and attics. We're an attic market, but if you're in a basement market, it could be easier. But with that all said and done, we have teams that definitely do 2 a day, and we run the machine Saturday and Sunday if needed. And when we get booked up, we really enjoy the thought that we're going to be able to make a difference in the homeowner's house. And a lot of our new duct systems get sealed, and or a lot of our new systems get sealed. So we're giving them the best value we can.
Yeah, thank you. We did get a question. Todd is asking what part of the county, he might mean country, but you can cover county and country.
Yes.
Part of the county or country are you in, Lenny?
So we're in the Panhandle of Florida, Fort Walton Beach, Destin area, Pensacola. We cover all that market, including Panama City. But we also have an operation in Birmingham, which is all metal duct work, and that's an operation north of us, about 3.5 hours, and we have a machine up there too. So.
Very good. Okay, well, it looks like it's a shy group today. We'll leave it open, see if anybody else wants to send. Oh, here we go. So Todd is also asking, what's the revenue?
Great. The average clean and seal, which is we offer ductwork cleaning at half price with a seal, ranges anywhere from low 2,200 to high 3,200 based on tap count, return count, and height of ceiling. Again, if you're doing an average height of 8 to 10 foot, it's accessible pretty easily. Some homes are a little bit taller, but the pricing is up to each individual contractor, so there is no set price. It's based on what we call your gross margin goal. And then, of course, we compensate both the person that sells the product and that does the work fairly, so they make enough money to make it worth their while. So the average team makes anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks an hour to do the work, and the average salesman probably makes closer to $70 to $150 an hour to sell the work. So it's quite incentivized to get the consumers involved with this product. Now, it's an expensive product, but so is the truck you drive every day to go run a service call. The revenue you get off this investment, to me, had a return right away. But on a long-term note, you can invest in this type of product and see a return on your investment in the short term, and then very profitable in the near term. Also, I wanted to mention that contests are important, having fun with it. So this morning I launched a 30-day contest. I called it the Holiday Clean and Seal Contest, which means from now until December 15th, in the event that we hit a certain goal, I'm going to give away $1,000 cash for holiday money, $500 for first prize, $300 for second, and $200 for third. But if we hit 40 seals, I'm going to double that. So having fun with the holidays. And I called it Holiday Dough because everybody needs that little extra cash.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I was reading some of the questions, and I don't think you answered this, but maybe. Todd sent a follow-up. I think he's also wanting to understand on an annual basis, can you talk about revenue and how it relates to your other revenue streams in the company? What's your overall annual revenue with Aeroseal, I think is what he's asking.
Yeah, if I was to put a number on it, I think it increases our annual sales in the HVAC industry 20 to 30%. Gets us to get in the conversation of ductwork replacement, ductwork enhancement, ductwork cleaning, and IEQ products. So it's a part of the mission to increase the, I guess, revenue stream on slower times. It's a combo. And if you try to do it just as a standalone seal only, it's a little challenging, but comboing it with duct enhancements and duct cleaning and insulation blowing, it's actually a package where they're more apt to say yes. And one thing I didn't mention, financing is crucial. For $1 or $2 a day, you can have your ducts cleaned and sealed and an IQ package with the right proper financing option. So as little as $3 a day. That's a really small investment for them, or $60 to $90 a month. There's 10-year notes, there's 7-year notes, there's 5-year notes, and so on. But financing is crucial to get consumers involved with these products.
I could not agree more. You're absolutely right on that one. Todd says thank you, so thank you for that. So Ruben is asking, I'm not an HVAC business owner. However, I have a residential cleaning. Will this work? Maybe duct cleaning, maybe, I'm not sure if that's what he means. I don't know.
Sure, Tracy, you can tell them the same as we know that it's about a third out there. It's third HVAC contractors, a third duct cleaning companies, and the other third is these solar companies and whole house performance contractors that are doing this type of work nationwide. The good news is they're only impacting less than 10% of the homes based on our footprint. So my opinion is there is still 90% of the markets either not served or underserved. A lot of opportunity out there, but it is a diverse product that works with duct cleaning companies.
Yeah, I love the way you said that. And that's exactly right. I mean, we are so proud and excited at the growth that we're seeing, but the amount of opportunity still left out there it's huge. It's huge. There's still plenty to go around, and I'm really excited to see where we go in the next 10 years. So Ruben, I think we answered your question. If not, please send any follow-up questions or details there in case we didn't quite answer that correctly. Looks like the questions are slowing down a little. While we're waiting to see if there are any other questions, I will take a moment. I'll come back to you, Lenny. Lenny held up a hat there, and I'm glad he did. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge happy birthday to the Marine Corps, happy 245th birthday, and happy Veterans Day to, I know we're a little bit early, but happy Veterans Day to everybody out there who have served. We really appreciate your service. Thank you so much. And I don't see any more questions, Lenny, so here's what I'll do. I will circle back. I'll let you wrap this up with any closing statements you'd like to make. And then before everybody signs off, I do want to let you know about an offer that we're extending to anybody who's listening. So Lenny, I'll let you close it, and then I'll get that last slide up, and we will wish everyone well.
Well, for those on the call today, Aeroseal and non-Aeroseal, make sure you put goal boards up. We use digital TVs and manual goal boards, so celebrate your wins, offer financing, have banners up, talk about it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and then also show and tell your machine. Once you invest in a machine, also show and tell your call takers, your dispatchers, your accountants, because they'll spread the word too. And we try to demo the machine once a month in front of our internal team and our new employees. So with that said and done, it's made a difference in my life, and hopefully the ones on this call will make a difference in yours too. And any questions you have, she can share with you my name and number along with anybody else that's an Aeroseal family member, and we'd love to help you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lenny. We really, really appreciate you joining us today. For anybody who is listening and you are looking for more information, we are offering a free business review to kind of see how good of a fit your company and the Aeroseal business, how well they fit together. So you can reach out to Jared Scott, who is our National Sales Director. You can see his contact information there on the screen, email and cell phone. And then we're always interested in hearing from our listeners. If there are any future topics that you'd like us to cover, please shoot us an email, let us know, and we'll be sure to consider that and offer it in an upcoming webinar. That takes us right to the hour, so I think we did our job, Lenny. Thank you all very, very much, and have a great week. Take care.